What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Champions League draw analysis video. What do you think about Liverpool getting FC Porto? I think it must be one of the luckiest draws for Liverpool, but after we played Paris Saint-Germain, Napoli and then Bayern Munich, nobody can say that Liverpool were lucky overall this season with the Champions League draws. But in this round, I think Liverpool got probably one of the easiest opponents on paper. But we have to note that Porto are much stronger this season than they are last season. They are leading the Portuguese league and they have Militao who is close to signing or already signed for Real Madrid. They have Brahimi, they have other forwards who are very dangerous, and Porto are flying high in the Portuguese league. But still, if Liverpool play to the maximum of their potential, they will have no problem knocking out Porto. I'm confident about Liverpool's abilities. This year we are an even better team than last year. Porto are as well, so it will be two very good games. The first leg will be at Anfield and it's crucial that we win there, because away at Porto it's going to be tough, and I think Jurgen Klopp and the players know that. Last season's 5-0 win in Porto was kind of an aberration. It's not a normal result. Normally Porto don't lose very heavily, and the Champions League draw is fascinating. So we will talk about the Ajax-Juventus matchup, the Tottenham-Manchester City matchup, and also what probably most people are looking forward to, Barcelona and Messi matching up against Manchester United, two historic clubs. And I think this is now a very open competition. Apart from Ajax and Porto, I think anybody can win this Champions League, honestly. Even Tottenham are kind of dark horses, because on their day Tottenham can beat any team. They have world-class players as well. And also, if Liverpool go through against FC Porto, they will play Barcelona or Manchester United. And honestly, I would love to see prime Messi at the peak of his powers at Anfield to see how he does against Liverpool. Of course, I want Liverpool to win the Champions League, but Liverpool-Barcelona would be such a special matchup. Of course, Liverpool-Man United would be very special as well. And if we went out against Man United and then we went on to win the Champions League, that would sting for a long time. So I would prefer that we played Barcelona. But honestly, anything can happen after Man United knocked out Paris Saint-Germain. But now let's talk about the Liverpool-Porto matchup. So Liverpool will play Porto first at Anfield, and then we play Chelsea at home, and then Porto away. So we have a hard fixture list, but Manchester City's fixture list just got so much more difficult. So they will play Swansea away in the FA Cup, and then they play Fulham away, and then probably they have another FA Cup game because the Cardiff game will be moved, and then they will play Crystal Palace away, then they will play Tottenham twice in the Champions League and then in the Premier League, and then they play Manchester United and then probably Tottenham again, something like that. I remember that Manchester City will play Tottenham 3 times in a 2-week spell, and they have back-to-back games against Tottenham, one in the Premier League and one in the Champions League. And so they will play Tottenham twice and then Manchester United, and before that Crystal Palace away, and after Man United, Burnley away. That's a brutal fixture list for Manchester City. And if they go through against Tottenham, which the majority of people are expecting Manchester City to go through against Tottenham, they will play probably Juventus in the semi-finals. I mean, if Ajax knock out Juventus, that will be a big shock, because Juventus are a much more disciplined, well-organized team than Real Madrid, and probably Juventus will sit back and let Ajax have possession and then destroy them on the counter-attack with the likes of Dybala, Cristiano Ronaldo and Mandzukic. I would be shocked if Juventus don't go through against Ajax. So I think Juventus, Manchester City and Liverpool-Barcelona, those are my predictions for the semi-finals, and those will be fascinating games. So basically the big teams, the most favorites for the Champions League have been kept apart. The big favorites are Manchester City are first in the favorites list, Barcelona are second, Juventus are third, Liverpool are fourth, and after that probably Tottenham and Man United, and then of course Ajax and Porto, the least favorites to win the Champions League. But if the Champions League showed this year anything, it's that there could be huge upsets. I mean, who would have thought that Ajax would knock Real Madrid out so comfortably? Who would have thought that, after Liverpool failing to beat Bayern at home, they will go to Munich and win quite easily and quite comfortably. And honestly, this is why you should take the Champions League seriously. Gary Neville said, and probably some other pundits said, that Liverpool should just forget about the Champions League and concentrate on the Premier League. You can always get a kind of a favorable draw in the quarterfinals, and then the competition opened up. I mean, for Liverpool to get Porto, I mean, that's this huge opportunity to have another Champions League semi-final. And you know that the Champions League is Liverpool's competition. We have won it 5 times. And yes, in the recent 10 years or 12 years, we lost 2 Champions League finals. So I think Liverpool fans and Jurgen Klopp really wants to win the Champions League and the Premier League. And I think we have the squad to cope with that. Because the good news is that it looks like that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Joe Gomez will be also back in 2 or 3 weeks, and Dejan Lovren. So we will have probably a squad full of fit players by the time we play Porto, and then hopefully no other injuries really happen, and then we can really attack this last 3 months of the season with a fully fit squad. And I think we can cope with having Champions League and Premier League games. And many people are saying that Manchester City won't have 4 days between 2 games for the rest of the season. Liverpool will have 8 times that 4-day rest, which is really, really crucial. And Manchester City have potentially 17 games still left to play if they go into the final of the FA Cup and to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Plus they have Premier League games as well. So that's brutal. 17 games for Manchester City in 44 days. That's an incredible amount of games. And they will not be easy games. And that's my biggest hope, that Manchester City will get tired. They will get some injuries, some players with tiredness, fatigue. And that's where Liverpool can take control of the Premier League title race. But it's so close. And let's listen to Jurgen Klopp's reaction to the Champions League draw, because I think it's very interesting. He said, "What can I say? It's Porto and we have played there already. We know how good we had to be last year. The result in the end was a strange one. It was very good for us, of course, but it was a strange one. In the second leg we saw the character of Porto and the quality they have. I could not be further away from thinking it's the best draw, because it isn't. It's just a draw. It's the opponent we have to prepare for, and that's all we will be thinking about from when we start preparing for the game. We have a specialist for Porto in our team, in Pep Linders, being there in the past. He always speaks with so much respect for that club. We will have plenty of information, and that's what you need before a game, but you still have to play it. Now we know it. Let's prepare and try to get to the semi-finals." And that's the kind of right mentality. You shouldn't underestimate anyone, but I think realistically we have a much better chance against Porto to go through than probably against any other team, because I think for Ajax it's drawing Juventus is a very bad draw, because Ajax would have a much better chance against a team like Barcelona, against a team like Liverpool, who attack a lot more and who are on the front foot a lot more, because Juventus are a much more disciplined, much more defensively solid team, and Ajax will probably have more of the ball, and Juventus will play counter-attack. And James Milner admits that the hurt of losing a Champions League final is driving the team forward this season to correct that and lift the Champions League finally for Liverpool. So James Milner is saying that the Champions League final left Liverpool with a feeling of missed opportunity and the degree of injustice because of Dolores Karius' concussion, the Salah injury, Sergio Ramos really ruined the Champions League final for Liverpool, and I think Liverpool want to put that right this year, and Real Madrid are not in the competition. I would love to see a Liverpool-Juventus final, but of course probably UEFA want a Messi-Ronaldo final. That's why they are on the opposite sides of the draw. Barcelona-Juventus would be the dream final for UEFA, just for the viewing numbers, but I think there could be a Liverpool-Manchester City Champions League final after the title race finished. I mean, imagine all the kind of scenarios. If either Liverpool or Manchester City win the Premier League, and then just a few days after the Premier League finishes, there will be a Champions League final, and it could be a Liverpool-Manchester City final, which is going to be good. It could be a fascinating game, but let's not get too carried away, because Liverpool will have to overcome Barcelona or Man United and Porto before that, just to even get there. But I think we have a bigger chance against Barcelona over 2 legs to go through than over 1 leg, because I think Liverpool are perfect for the 2-legged ties, especially the one game being at Anfield, and also the semi-final. Probably Liverpool will play the second leg at Anfield against either Barcelona or Man United, and I think Liverpool have a much bigger chance against any big team if it's over 2 legs, because over 1 leg, like, it shows anything can happen. Real Madrid won the Champions League final, but if we met Real Madrid in the semi-finals, I think we would have knocked them out, because at Anfield in the Champions League, Liverpool are incredible. And James Milner said, I don't think we think about that too much at this moment in time, the loss in the Champions League final he's referring to, but it is a memory that never goes away too quickly. You still think about it now. Maybe, hopefully, if we get to the final, we can think about putting it right then. We probably took more positives from last year than negatives, but it's still a bitter pill to swallow when you lose the final of the Champions League and the way that we lost it and went down. I've been to 3 finals since I've been here: the League Cup, the Europa League and the Champions League final, and lost them all, and I'm desperate to put that right. You are proud to have played in the European Cup final, but you don't go there to lose. Listen, I've loved every minute of my time at Liverpool, but to have not won something when we have given ourselves opportunities is difficult to take at this moment. And James Milner is right. Liverpool must win a trophy this season, either the Premier League or the Champions League. Either one would be fantastic, but sooner or later Liverpool have to win a trophy, because their winning breeds confidence, and until we win a trophy there will be always that lingering doubt in fans and in some of the players that you know, Liverpool have this very unlucky streak of losing finals. Quite a few, actually, and that's not just Jurgen Klopp's fault, because most of the players were responsible a lot more than Jurgen Klopp for losing some finals. But I think Jurgen Klopp has done amazingly in this 3.5-4 years for Liverpool as the manager, and no matter what happens, even if we don't win any trophies this year, we are on the right track. We can strengthen in the summer and then go again and maybe win more trophies next season. But I'm as desperate as any other Liverpool fan to put it right and win either of those trophies. But of course we want the Premier League the most, but if we can't win against Man City, I would be as happy as anyone to win the Champions League this year. But either of those trophies are very, very hard. But just look back, just 3 years in the past, just 3 years, Liverpool were nowhere near talking about winning the Premier League or winning the Champions League, and now we are in the conversation of winning either the Premier League or the Champions League or both, and we have a realistic, really realistic chance of winning either of those competitions. And for the past 3 years Liverpool have been like this: incredible rise and incredible progress by Jurgen Klopp and all the Liverpool players. And this is just the beginning. Most of the Liverpool players are not even 26, 27 years old, and they are on 5-year or 4-year contracts. So for the next 3, 4, 5 years, Liverpool could be in contention to win the Champions League and the Premier League title every single season, and that's what we want. That's what this club is all about. and let's try and win both of those trophies. Let's go for it. That's my mentality, and I'm sure that that's what Jurgen Klopp wants as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later. Have a nice day. Goodbye.